If you are over 60 and you wake at 3 a.m., feel tired before breakfast, see higher blood pressure in the morning, feel your heart flutter, or get up to urinate more than once at night, your afternoon coffee may be doing more than keeping you awake. It may be pushing several health problems at the same time, quietly, hours after you forgot you drank it. I'm Dr. Claire Bennett, and today, I want to show you exactly how coffee after 2 p.m. can affect sleep, blood pressure, heart rhythm, nighttime urination, anxiety, and energy after 60. Coffee is not the enemy, but timing may be the missing piece. Before we go deeper, think about yesterday. What time was your last coffee? Was it before noon, after lunch, around 2 or 3 p.m., or closer to dinner? Keep that answer in mind, because by the end of this video, you may understand why your nights and mornings feel harder than they should. A morning coffee can be a pleasant and reasonable habit for many people. It may be part of breakfast, a quiet chair, a favorite mug, or a comforting start to the day. The problem usually begins when coffee moves later into the afternoon. After 60, the body often has less room for error. Sleep may already be lighter. Blood pressure may already need careful control. The bladder may already be waking you, and medications may already be part of daily life. So caffeine does not have to create a dramatic reaction to matter. It only has to push the body a little further in the wrong direction. Caffeine works mainly by blocking adenosine. Adenosine is a natural chemical that builds in your brain while you are awake. Think of it as your body's sleep pressure. From morning to evening, adenosine slowly tells the brain, you have been awake long enough. It is time to slow down soon. Caffeine blocks that message. It does not truly remove tiredness. It covers the tiredness for a while. That is why coffee can make you feel alert even when your body still needs rest. It is like placing tape over a warning light on a car dashboard. The light looks quiet, but the engine still needs attention. After 60, this matters because sleep is often more easily disturbed by pain, arthritis, bladder pressure, blood sugar changes, stress, a partner moving in bed, or simple age-related changes in sleep depth. When caffeine is added late in the day, the brain may not enter the night as calmly as it should. The next problem is how long caffeine can stay active. The average half-life of caffeine is about 5 hours, but the range is wide. In some people, it may be closer to 1.5 hours. In others, it may be more than 9 hours. Half-life means the time it takes your body to clear about half of the caffeine. So if you drink a strong coffee at 2 p.m., a meaningful amount may still be present at 7 p.m., and some may still be active near midnight. You may not feel the obvious kick anymore, but your sleep chemistry can still feel it. There is another reason this becomes confusing. The word 1 cup does not mean the same thing to everyone. One person means a small home cup, another person means a large cafe mug. Health Canada lists an 8-ounce cup of brewed coffee at about 135 milligrams of caffeine, while filter drip coffee can average around 179 milligrams. The FDA also notes that a 12-ounce brewed coffee can vary widely, so when someone tells me, I only had 1 coffee after lunch, I always want to know the size, the strength, and whether it was refilled. For an older adult who is sensitive, that 1 cup may act more like 2 ordinary cups. This is also why the daily limit is not the whole story. Health Canada and the FDA both cite 400 milligrams a day as a general limit for many adults, but that does not mean 350 milligrams late in the day is automatically fine for a person with insomnia, palpitations, or morning blood pressure spikes. Amount matters, but timing matters too. A smaller amount at the wrong time can cause more trouble than a larger amount early in the morning for some people. This is why 2 neighbors can drink the same coffee at the same time and have very different nights. One person sleeps well, the other wakes at 3 a.m., stares at the clock, and blames aging. It may not be aging alone. It may be timing. Now let's make this specific, because this is the part many older adults have never been told clearly. Coffee after 2 p.m. can affect several common health problems through different pathways. First, coffee can affect insomnia by keeping the brain in a lighter, more alert state. This does not always mean you lie awake for hours at bedtime. That is the trap. You may fall asleep at 10:30 and still be affected. The problem may appear later, when you wake at 2 or 3 in the morning and cannot return to deep sleep. Caffeine blocks the sleepy signal, so your brain may enter the night without fully settling. You may be asleep, but not deeply repaired. A study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that 400 milligrams of caffeine, taken even 6 hours before bedtime, significantly disrupted sleep. A 2023 systematic review found that caffeine reduced total sleep time by about 45 minutes on average, and reduced sleep efficiency by about 7%. 45 minutes may sound small, but losing that much sleep night after night is not small to an older body. Over a week, it is more than 5 hours of lost sleep. Over a month, it is more than 20 hours. This is why the question should not only be, did I fall asleep? The better question is, did I wake up repaired? The CDC recommends that adults 65 and older get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night, and the CDC also advises avoiding caffeine in the afternoon or evening as part of healthy sleep habits. But quality matters as much as the number of hours. 7 hours of light, broken sleep is not the same as 7 hours of calm, restorative sleep. Second, coffee can affect blood pressure by stimulating the stress side of the nervous system. Caffeine can increase alerting signals in the body. In sensitive people, this can make blood vessels tighten temporarily and make the heart pump with a little more force. The result may be a short-term rise in blood pressure. This does not happen the same way in everyone. Some regular coffee drinkers develop tolerance. Some people have little change. But Mayo Clinic suggests checking blood pressure before caffeine and then again 30 to 120 minutes afterward. If your blood pressure rises by about 5 to 10 points, you may be sensitive to the blood pressure effect of caffeine. Here is what that can look like in real life. Suppose your afternoon blood pressure is usually around 132/76. You drink a large coffee at 2:30 p.m. An hour later, it is 142/82. That single reading does not prove everything. Maybe you were stressed. Maybe the cuff was placed poorly. Maybe you had pain. But if the pattern repeats, it is a clue. Now connect that to sleep. If coffee raises alertness in the afternoon, then sleep becomes lighter at night, and the nervous system does not calm down fully. The next morning, your blood pressure may be higher than usual. In that case, coffee is not the only cause. Salt, stress, pain, kidney health, weight, medications, and sleep apnea may all matter, but afternoon caffeine may be one extra push. Third, coffee can affect heart rhythm symptoms by making the heart feel more reactive. Some older adults describe this as fluttering, pounding, skipped beats, or a racing feeling. Caffeine stimulates the brain, but in sensitive people, it can also make the heartbeat feel stronger or more noticeable. This is more likely to be uncomfortable when someone is dehydrated, sleep-deprived, anxious, anemic, has thyroid problems, has a known rhythm issue, or is taking certain medications. Palpitations after coffee are not always dangerous, but after 60, they deserve respect. If you notice fluttering after afternoon coffee, write down the time, the amount, and what you felt. If palpitations are new, worsening, or come with chest pain, fainting, shortness of breath, or dizziness, that should be discussed with a clinician urgently. Fourth, coffee can affect nighttime urination in 2 ways. It may irritate the bladder or increase urgency in some people, and it may also make sleep lighter so that you notice bladder signals more easily. Many seniors say, "I wake up because my bladder is full." Sometimes that is true, but sometimes the bladder signal is modest, and the real problem is that sleep is too light to sleep through it. So coffee after 2 p.m. may not simply make more urine. It may make the brain easier to wake. A small bladder signal at 2 a.m. becomes enough to get you out of bed. Then you turn on the light, look at the clock, start thinking about tomorrow, and the night is broken. If you wake often to urinate, do not look only at evening fluids. Look at afternoon caffeine too. Fifth, coffee can affect anxiety by making the body feel restless before the mind knows why. Caffeine can create shakiness, chest tightness, faster thoughts, a sense of pressure, and a feeling that something is wrong. For an older adult who already has health worries, loneliness, grief, caregiver stress, or pain, that physical stimulation can feel like anxiety. This becomes confusing. A person may say, "I am anxious, so I cannot sleep," but sometimes caffeine made the body feel anxious first, and then the mind followed. This is especially important if you say, "My body is tired, but my mind will not shut off." That can be caffeine's hidden evening effect. Sixth, Coffee can affect energy and blood sugar patterns by covering a crash instead of fixing it. Many people reach for coffee at 2 p.m. because they feel exhausted, but that exhaustion may come from a breakfast with too little protein, a lunch heavy in refined carbohydrates, too little fluid earlier in the day, poor sleep the night before, or too much sitting. Coffee may make you feel sharper for a short time, but it does not repair the reason your energy dropped. Then when caffeine fades, the tiredness returns. If the coffee also weakens sleep that night, tomorrow begins with more fatigue. That is how the tired tomorrow cycle begins. You drink coffee because you are tired, then sleep becomes less restorative. Then you wake more tired, then you need more coffee again. After 60, that borrowed energy can become expensive. You may pay for it with lighter sleep, more morning fog, more cravings, less patience, and less steady blood pressure. 7th, coffee can complicate medications and medical conditions because older adults often have more moving pieces. The FDA notes that people vary widely in caffeine sensitivity and in how quickly they eliminate caffeine. Medications and health conditions can change how caffeine feels. This does not mean caffeine cancels your medicines, but it can confuse the picture. If caffeine raises your heart rate, you may think your heart medicine is not working. If caffeine worsens sleep, you may think you need a stronger sleeping pill. If caffeine increases urgency, you may think your bladder condition is suddenly worse. That is why your pharmacist can be very helpful. You can ask, could my afternoon coffee affect my sleep, blood pressure, heart rhythm, bladder symptoms, or medications? That simple question can reveal patterns that are easy to miss. There are also certain people who should be more careful from the start. If you already have insomnia, morning blood pressure spikes, palpitations, anxiety, frequent nighttime urination, sleep apnea, or several medications, do not treat afternoon coffee as a neutral habit. Treat it as something to test. And if your family says you are always tired in the morning or you seem more anxious at night, do not dismiss that feedback too quickly. Sometimes another person notices the pattern before we do. Now I want to bring this back to real life because health advice only works if it fits the day you are actually living. Many older adults do not drink afternoon coffee because they are careless. They drink it because they are tired, lonely, busy, or trying to stay independent. They want to drive to an appointment, finish errands, make dinner, care for a spouse, or stay awake through the quiet part of the afternoon. So the solution should not be harsh. It should be practical. The first practical step is not to quit coffee completely. It is to move regular caffeine earlier. For the next 14 days, treat coffee timing like a health experiment. Keep your morning coffee if you tolerate it. If you need a second cup, try to have it before 11 a.m. Make your last regular coffee before noon. If that feels too difficult, begin with before 1 p.m., but avoid sliding back to 2:30, 3, or 4 p.m., and then wondering why the night feels unsettled. During this 14-day experiment, keep the afternoon ritual, but change the drink. If you enjoy holding a warm cup, keep the warm cup. Try decaf, herbal tea, warm water with lemon, or another caffeine-free option. Health Canada lists decaffeinated, roasted, and ground coffee at about 3 milligrams of caffeine per 8-ounce cup and instant decaf around 5 milligrams, much lower than regular coffee. For many people, decaf after lunch is a reasonable bridge, but if you are very sensitive and even decaf bothers your sleep, move that earlier too. Also remember that tea can count. Black tea and green tea often contain less caffeine than coffee, but they still contain caffeine. Health Canada lists brewed tea at roughly 30 to 50 milligrams per 8-ounce cup. For some people, that is fine. For a sensitive sleeper at 4 p.m., it may still matter. Chocolate can matter in larger amounts, especially dark chocolate. Energy drinks deserve even more caution, especially if you have blood pressure problems, palpitations, anxiety, poor sleep, or several medications. A gentle schedule may look like this. Have your main coffee with breakfast between 7 and 9 a.m. If you truly want a second cup, make it smaller and finish it before 11 a.m. After lunch, protect the comfort of the habit without the stimulant. At 2 p.m., choose decaf or herbal tea. Around 3 p.m., if your energy dips, try water, daylight, and a protein snack before you assume you need caffeine. In the evening, keep the lights softer and avoid turning the night into a battle. The goal is not to force sleep. The goal is to stop sending your body the wrong signal too late in the day. If you normally drink a lot of caffeine, step down gradually. A sudden stop can cause headaches, irritability, and strong fatigue. Move the afternoon cup earlier first, then reduce the size, then try half calf, then try decaf. This is not about proving discipline. It is about giving your nervous system a fair chance to settle. The second practical step is to fix the reason you wanted coffee in the afternoon. If the real reason is hunger, add protein. A boiled egg, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tofu, a small portion of nuts, or a balanced snack may help more than caffeine. If the reason is dehydration, sip fluids earlier in the day instead of trying to catch up at night. If you have heart failure, kidney disease, or a fluid restriction, follow your clinician's advice. If the reason is poor circulation from sitting, try a slow 10-minute walk after lunch if it is safe for you. If the reason is loneliness, protect the afternoon ritual, but make it caffeine-free and add a phone call, a short walk, or time near daylight. The third practical step is to track only what matters. For 7 days, write down the time of your last caffeine, what time you went to bed, how many times you woke, how you felt at 8 a.m., and your morning blood pressure if you already monitor it. Do not check your blood pressure 20 times. Do not become anxious about every number. You are looking for patterns, not perfection. Then move caffeine earlier for 14 days and compare. Did you wake less often? Did the 3 a.m. wake up become shorter? Did breakfast feel easier? Did your morning blood pressure look steadier? Did you need less coffee the next day? Your body's answer is more useful than an argument about whether coffee is good or bad. Here is the second thing I want you to do while you are listening. Choose one starting point. Either move your last regular coffee before noon, cut the afternoon cup in half, or change the afternoon cup to decaf. Choose one. Small changes are easier to keep than dramatic promises. Let me give you 3 examples. A 69-year-old woman told me coffee did not affect her because she could fall asleep at 10:30. But she woke at 2:45, worried for an hour, and drifted in and out until morning. Her problem was not the beginning of the night. It was the middle of the night. She moved regular coffee to the morning, kept her 3 p.m. ritual with decaf, and added Greek yogurt because part of her coffee need was hunger. After 2 weeks, she still woke sometimes, but the wake-ups were shorter, and breakfast felt less foggy. A 73-year-old man had mostly controlled blood pressure, but some mornings were higher than others. When he tracked his routine, the higher mornings often followed days with a large coffee around 2:30 p.m., a restless night, and poor energy the next morning. He moved that coffee to breakfast, drank water after lunch, and used a short walk before errands. His blood pressure still needed monitoring, but he had found one lever he could control. A 77-year-old caregiver drank coffee at 2 p.m. and again at 5 p.m. because she was exhausted from listening for her husband during the night. In her case, coffee was not the root problem. Caregiver strain was. She needed support, safer night routines, and a medical review, but late caffeine was still making recovery harder. Once she moved caffeine earlier, she did not become magically rested, but her body had a better chance to settle. These examples matter because they show that coffee is often part of a pattern, not the whole story. The goal is not to blame coffee. The goal is to stop using caffeine to cover a problem that deserves attention. Now let's be clear about safety. If you have chest pain, fainting, severe shortness of breath, sudden weakness, confusion, or a very high blood pressure reading with concerning symptoms, seek urgent care. If you have repeated palpitations, ongoing insomnia, severe daytime sleepiness, or frequent high morning blood pressure, speak with your clinician. Coffee timing is important, but it is not the only possible cause. Sleep apnea, thyroid disease, anemia, depression, pain, medication side effects, blood sugar changes, and heart rhythm problems can also cause fatigue and poor sleep. A good doctor does not simply say, "Stop coffee." A good doctor asks, "Why do you need coffee so much in the afternoon?" That question often opens the door to the real issue. So here is the simple way to remember everything we discussed. Coffee after 2 p.m. can affect sleep by blocking the sleepy signal. It can affect blood pressure by stimulating the nervous system. It can affect palpitations by making the heart feel more reactive. It can affect nighttime urination by increasing bladder signals and making sleep lighter. It can affect anxiety by making the body feel restless. It can affect energy by covering fatigue instead of fixing it. And it can make medications and symptoms harder to interpret. The question after 60 is not, is coffee good or bad? The better question is this last cup helping my body today or making tomorrow harder? Before you leave, write in the comments what time you usually drink your last coffee: before noon, after lunch, after 2 p.m., or later in the evening. Your answer may help another older adult recognize the same pattern in their own life. And tonight, do not panic about what you already drank today. Worry will only stimulate the body more. Start tomorrow. Keep the pleasure of coffee in the morning, protect the afternoon with gentler choices, and give your body 14 days to show you whether timing has been stealing your sleep. Because after 60, 1 cup of coffee is not just about taste. It is about timing, recovery, blood pressure, steadier energy, and the kind of sleep that helps you wake up feeling like yourself again.